two volumes of writings by A.J. Liebling. One of them is The Sweet Science and Other Writings. Sweet Science being about boxing, fighting. And the other one being a collection of his World War II writings. He was a reporter in World War II. I was going to say in Europe, which I think is right. I don't remember anything in here of him being in the Pacific, but it's been a while since I've read it, and I actually never read the entire thing. I've read articles throughout. Yeah, it's mostly, looks like it's mostly Europe, so I'm not sure that he ever found himself in the Pacific. In any case, so these are put out by the Library of America. They are cloth bound in a very nice feeling cloth, and the spine has that gold. The top, it's sewn binding. Just open up the binding a little bit here. And has a ribbon. That is always the case with Library of America books. I love Library of America books. They always feel good to hold. They're always just really the right dimensions. To get them in, and at least if you have you can get slipcovers with them, and if you have a subscription with them, then they come automatically. I don't anymore, but I used to. And so they just feel really great. To get them this perfect size, they often forego one thing, which is thick paper. That is to say, their paper is always, not always, but almost always thinner than I'd like. It's not tissue thin like you might find in in some old Bibles or something, but it's pretty thin. It's not exactly luxurious, but what you get instead is you get hundreds and hundreds of pages of material that they can fit into these books, into something that's easy just to hold and carry around. You can practically, but not quite, fit it in a pocket. Not really. It's a little too big for that, but it's just such a good book for just holding on to. All their books are the same dimensions as far as height and width. Of course, the depth changes. So onto the books themselves a little bit. The Sweet Science is, as I say, about fighting. I've never been that interested in boxing. He is very interested in boxing. So I've read a good amount of the Sweet Science, and then sort of jumped around into other kinds of things. I've read An Appetite for Paris. And I don't think I've actually read either of these two. They don't ring a bell. So that's interesting. You have to get on that. And then the World War II writing is fascinating. Really, first of all, let's just say really good writing. Really well written and interesting. I'll just show you the table of contents. You can get an idea. We did look at it for a second. The road back to Paris. You can jump onto these different things. He talks about the people. He does, go talk to people on the ground. You get a pretty good feel for, what they wanted to talk about and what they were thinking about, and what, you can't really get a feel for what it was like, but you can at least get a feel, as well as anyone else, for what they say it was like. So really, really good, really interesting to me. And so that's two collections of writings by A.J. Liebling. If you haven't heard of him, he was a journalist, and well, maybe that's obvious, but really good stuff. Not at all, I don't know what you think about when you think about journalism from the 1940s and a little bit later, but there's nothing stilted or old-fashioned. To me, there isn't anyway about his writing. I think it's good stuff. It's still very compelling. All right, that's A.J. Liebling. There's World War II writings and The Sweet Science and Other Writings as well.